Have you ever stopped to watch a crow? You have probably seen them everywhere. They are perched on telephone wires. They are hopping across city parks. They are calling out from tall trees in the countryside. These sleek black birds are some of the most common creatures we see in our daily lives. They live on almost every continent, adapting to bustling cities and quiet forests alike. But there is so much more to these birds than their dark feathers and loud calls. Crows are not just ordinary birds. They are members of an elite club of animal intelligence, a group that continues to surprise and fascinate the scientists who study them. Their global success is a clue to their brilliance. While many animal species struggle to survive when humans change the environment, crows often thrive. They figure out how to open tricky trash cans. It is a sign of a sharp mind at work, a mind capable of learning, problem-solving, and remembering. The ordinary crow you see on your lawn is part of an extraordinary family of birds, the corvids, which also includes ravens, jays, and magpies. The more we learn about crows, the more we realize how much we have underestimated them. These birds possess cognitive skills that were once thought to belong only to humans and other primates. They can reason, plan for the future, and even understand complex concepts. So, the next time you see a crow, take a moment to really look at it. Notice the way its head tilts, as if it is considering something. Listen to its complex array of calls, which are more like a language than simple squawks. You are not just looking at a bird. You are looking at a feathered genius, a creature with a mind so advanced it rivals that of a young human child. What is the secret behind a crow's intelligence? The answer lies inside its head. A crow's brain is, of course, much smaller than a human's. But when it comes to brain power, size is not the only thing that matters. What is truly important is the brain-to-body weight ratio. And in this department, crows are champions of the avian world. Their brains are proportionally massive, similar to those of chimpanzees and even humans. This large brain gives them the raw processing power needed for complex thought, memory, and problem-solving. Scientists studying the crow brain have discovered something fascinating. While a bird's brain is structured differently from a mammal's, it has regions that perform similar functions. Crows have a part of their brain called the nidopallium cauda-lateral, which acts much like the human prefrontal cortex. This is the area responsible for higher-order thinking, such as planning, decision-making, and self-control. When a crow decides to save a piece of food for later or uses a tool to get a snack, it is this powerful brain region that is hard at work, making calculated decisions. This advanced brain structure gives crows a remarkable capacity for abstract thought. They can understand cause and effect. For instance, they can learn that dropping a stone into a tube of water will raise the water level, bringing a floating treat within reach. This is not simple trial and error. It shows a genuine understanding of basic physics. They are not just reacting to the world around them. They are thinking, reasoning, and manipulating their environment in a way that demonstrates a deep and flexible intelligence. Their brain is a finely tuned instrument for survival and success. These neurons are packed tightly together, allowing for faster and more efficient communication within the brain. This dense network is what enables crows to think quickly, make connections between different pieces of information, and come up with creative solutions to new problems they encounter in their daily lives. One of the most stunning displays of crow intelligence is their ability to use tools and even make tools. For a long time, scientists believed that tool-making was a uniquely human skill. Then we discovered that chimpanzees use tools. But finding this behavior in a bird was revolutionary. The New Caledonian crow, found on a small island in the Pacific, is a master craftsman. These crows create a variety of tools to extract insects and grubs from hiding places in logs and tree bark. The tools they make are not just random sticks. They are carefully crafted for specific jobs. A New Caledonian crow will snap a twig, strip it of leaves and side branches to create a perfect spear. Even more impressively, they create hook tools. They will take a forked twig, whittle it down until a small hook remains. They also use the stiff, barbed leaves of the pandanus plant, tearing them into strips to create a serrated probe. Researchers have conducted clever experiments to test these skills in a controlled setting. In one famous study, a crow named Betty was given a straight piece of wire and a small bucket of food placed inside a vertical tube, just out of reach. After failing to get the food with the straight wire, Betty did something astonishing. She took the wire, wedged it into a crack, and used her beak to bend the end into a hook. She then used her newly made tool to lift the bucket out of the tube. She had never been taught to do this. She invented the solution on the spot. This ability shows that crows are not just using instinct. They are capable of foresight and innovation. They can see a problem, visualize a solution, and then take the necessary steps to create the tool they need to succeed. If you have ever been unkind to a crow, it will probably remember you. Crows have an uncanny ability to recognize individual human faces and remember them. They can hold on to these memories for years. This isn't just anecdotes. It's been proven by careful scientific experiments. Researchers at the University of Washington ran a famous study to test this exact thing. They wanted to know if crows could distinguish between different people and remember who was a friend and who was a threat. The results were more conclusive than expected. In the experiment, researchers wore a specific, distinctive caveman mask. They trapped several crows, they banded them, and then released them on campus. It was a negative experience for the birds. Afterwards, the researchers would walk through campus wearing the mask. The trapped crows reacted immediately. They scolded the masked person with loud, angry calls. They dive-bombed them. They taught other untrapped crows that this face was a threat. Soon, dozens of crows were mobbing anyone wearing the caveman mask. The researchers had other people wear the same mask, and the crows showed the same hostility. When researchers wore a different neutral mask, one of Dick Cheney, the crows ignored them. That proved it was the specific face they associated with danger. Years later, the researchers returned wearing the original mask. The crows, including a new generation, still recognized it and reacted aggressively, showing the memory had been passed down. This remarkable memory is a crucial survival tool. It lets crows remember where they've hidden thousands of food items, a behavior called caching. They can recall each cache's location months later with stunning accuracy. It also helps them navigate complex social life. They remember which crows are allies and which are rivals. They remember which humans bring food and which bring trouble. Their memory isn't just a list of facts. It's a rich, detailed map of their world and its individuals. Crows are not solitary creatures. They live in complex social groups with strong family ties that can last a lifetime. A typical crow family is not just a mother. A typical crow family is not just a father. A typical crow family is not just their new babies. It often includes older offspring from previous years who stick around to help raise their younger siblings. These helper birds play a vital role in the family's success. They help build the nest. They bring food to their mother while she incubates the eggs. They help feed the hungry chicks once they hatch. It's a cooperative system built on loyalty and teamwork. This family structure provides immense benefits. With more adults working together, the family can better defend its territory from rival crows, from hawks, and from owls. When a threat appears, the entire family will join forces in a behavior called mobbing, loudly scolding and chasing the intruder away. Having extra helpers also means the young chicks get more food and are better protected, which greatly increases their chances of survival. This cooperative breeding strategy is a testament to the deep social intelligence of these birds. They understand the value of working together for the common good. Communication is key to holding these social groups together. Crows have a sophisticated vocal repertoire, with different calls for different situations. They have specific alarm calls for a cat on the ground. They have specific alarm calls for a hawk in the sky. They have calls for gathering the family together. They have calls for announcing a food source. They have softer, more intimate calls used between mates or family members. The social life of a crow extends beyond its immediate family. In winter, multiple family groups often gather at night to sleep in massive communal roosts. This intricate social network is fundamental to who they are, providing safety, knowledge, and a sense of community. When we think of culture, we usually think of humans, our art, our music, our traditions. But scientists are discovering culture, defined as the passing of learned behaviors from one generation to the next, exists in the animal kingdom too. Crows are a prime example of this. They do not just rely on instinct, they learn from one another. Young crows learn crucial life skills by watching their parents and other experienced adults. This social learning is the foundation of what can be called crow culture. One of the clearest examples of this is the transmission of information about threats. As the face mask experiments showed, a crow that has a bad experience with a person or a mask does not keep that information to itself. It teaches its family and its neighbors. A young crow learns which humans to avoid, not by having a bad experience itself, but by observing the frantic alarm calls and defensive behavior of its parents. This cultural transmission also applies to finding food. In some parts of Japan, carrion crows have developed a brilliant strategy for cracking tough nuts like walnuts. They drop the nuts onto the road at pedestrian crosswalks. Then they wait for cars to run them over and crack them open. When the traffic light turns red and the cars stop, the crows fly down to safely retrieve their meal. This is not an instinctive behavior. It is a clever innovation that has spread throughout the local crow population as younger birds watch and copy the older, more experienced individuals. This ability to learn and share knowledge allows crow populations to adapt to new challenges and opportunities in their environment. It means that a group of crows in a city might have a completely different set of traditions and skills than a group of crows in a remote forest. One group might know how to raid a specific type of garbage bin. Another has perfected the art of stealing fish from fishermen. This passing down of knowledge is a powerful evolutionary tool, allowing crows to be more flexible and resilient than if they relied on genetics alone. It is a true culture of survival. For thousands of years, crows have captured the human imagination. Their intelligence, dark feathers, and mysterious nature made them powerful symbols in myths, legends, and folklore. In many cultures, they are seen as messengers, creatures that travel between the living world and the realm of spirits or gods. Their appearance is often seen as an omen, sometimes for good, sometimes for ill, a bearer of bad news, a guide to wisdom, one of the most compelling figures in mythology. In many Native American traditions, the crow, or its cousin the raven, is a central figure. In some stories, Raven is a creator god, a trickster who brings the sun, moon, and stars into a dark world. He is clever, mischievous, and often helps humans, even if his methods are unconventional. In Norse mythology, the god Odin was accompanied by two ravens, Hugin, which means thought, and Munin, which means memory. Every day the birds would fly all over the world and return at night to whisper all they had seen and heard into Odin's ear, making him the wisest of all the gods. In other cultures, the crow's association is darker. In European folklore, crows and ravens were often linked with witchcraft, battlefields, and death. Their habit of scavenging on carrion made them a symbol of war and misfortune. The sight of a flock of crows was sometimes considered a terrible omen. In Irish mythology, the goddess of war, the Morrigan, would often appear in the form of a crow. Despite these negative connotations, there was still an undercurrent of respect for the bird's intelligence and its connection to powerful hidden knowledge. This rich and varied symbolism shows that humans have long recognized something special about these birds. We saw their intelligence and interpreted it as wisdom or cunning. We saw their dark color and associated it with the mysteries of night, death, and the unknown. Whether seen as a divine messenger, a clever trickster, or a harbinger of doom, the crow has always been more than just a bird to us. It is a reflection of our own hopes, fears, and our fascination with the line between the natural world and the supernatural. Crows are far more than just common blackbirds. They are a living testament to the vast and varied nature of intelligence on our planet. Studying them forces us to broaden our definition of what it means to be smart. They show us that complex thought, problem-solving, and culture are not exclusive to humans and our closest primate relatives. The mind of a crow is a universe of its own, with memory, social bonds, and the ability to plan for the future. They challenge our assumptions and invite us to look at the animal world with greater curiosity and humility. Their role in the ecosystem is also incredibly important. As scavengers, they are part of nature's cleanup crew. They help dispose of dead animals, which prevents the spread of disease. By eating insects and other small pests, they can help control populations that might otherwise damage crops or gardens. They also play a role in seed dispersal. When they cache nuts and seeds and forget some of them, they are effectively planting new trees and plants. They are active participants in the health and balance of their environment, from wild forests to urban parks. Protecting crows begins with appreciating them. When we understand how intelligent and socially complex they are, it becomes harder to dismiss them as mere pests. We can help them by being more mindful of our own actions, securing our trash, avoiding pesticides in gardens, preserving green spaces in our cities. We can also contribute by observing them, learning about their behaviors, and sharing that knowledge with others. Fostering respect and admiration is a powerful form of conservation. Ultimately, the story of the crow is a story of intelligence, resilience, and adaptation. They are a mirror, reflecting back at us the very traits we value in ourselves: creativity, social connection, and the ability to learn and pass on knowledge. They remind us that the world is filled with minds different from our own, and that every creature has its own unique genius. The next time a crow caws from a treetop, listen closely. It might just be telling you one of the most fascinating stories in the natural world.